Hollywood finally got Denzel Washington. Sad. Just sad. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Actor Denzel Washington says a scene of him kissing a man was cut from the upcoming film Gladiator 2. Now, the two-time Oscar winner says that a scene of him kissing a man on the mouth, which was part of a sequence called A Kiss of Death, was cut from Gladiator 2 because he believed that audiences were not ready for that yet. Now, this scene basically is another part of a controversy going on with this film, which many people really did not want to see, and many did not ask for, because the original Gladiator that came out in 2000, the film was basically a self-contained story of Maximus, who was played by Russell Crowe, and in the original Gladiator, the Maximus character winds up dying at the end of the film, and as a result, there's no more story to tell. However, the studio decided to go out here and make another Gladiator, basically because many of these disconnected executives who don't live in reality and are stuck in the past decided to go for what they believe was an easy cash grab by making a sequel to this 2000 film, which did very well at the box office and won Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Actor for Russell Crowe, and they're hoping to get the same success with a sequel to Gladiator. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get much success with this Gladiator 2 because, according to many YouTubers, they say that this film has gotten major thumbs down on the trailer and possibly could be a box office bomb and could possibly be one of the first big flops for Academy Award-winning actor Denzel Washington, who is known for making hits like The Equalizer and can command those $20 million salaries for films. And this film basically could start Denzel Washington on a deliberately constructed road where they look to orchestrate his ignominious exit from Hollywood. Now, actor Eddie and comedian Eddie Griffin says that when it comes to black men, oftentimes what Hollywood wants to do is make sure a black man never leaves clean, and possibly what's going on with white supremacist Hollywood is they're looking to use Gladiator 2 to ensure that the 69-year-old Denzel Washington winds up not being able to leave clean, similar to what happened to Bill Cosby a couple of years ago when they recruited that bootlick Hannibal Buress to go out here and start creating and crafting a narrative where they sought to go out here and present Bill Cosby as the face of sexual predation in his old age, and present him as the face of sexual predation because they know that at 80 years old, Bill Cosby could not defend himself adequately. And I believe that's what's happening here, that's being orchestrated as related to actor Denzel Washington. Now, Denzel Washington, at 69 years old, is an elderly man, and what they want to do, I believe, with white supremacy is go out here and again passively put him in this Gladiator sequel as this Roman businessman, but aggressively what they want to do is start the campaign to go out here and tarnish the legacy and reputation of Denzel Washington the way they did with Bill Cosby. Go out here and start laying that foundation by going out here and tarnishing his reputation by having him star in this film, a film that again is possibly going to be derided by critics on as related to it possibly being a terrible film, which will again damage his reputation as an actor who is considered to be bankable and make it where he won't be able to continue maintaining that momentum of going out on top, because this film is the start of Denzel Washington being on the road to retirement, because Denzel Washington has mapped out a plan of a series of movies he wants to do, a series of movies that he wants to do before he winds up wrapping up his career as an actor in Hollywood. Now, Denzel Washington wants to again map this plan out to end his career on a high note, but white supremacy does not want Denzel Washington to end his career on a high note. No, they want to make sure that he doesn't leave clean, because what they want to do is tarnish his legacy the way they tried to tarnish the legacy of Bill Cosby. And as they look to tarnish the legacy of Denzel Washington, what they want to do is say that towards the end of his career, he wasn't able to maintain his success, and that what they want to do is orchestrate that by going out here and setting him up for failure. And I believe what they want to do is create the jump the shark moment with Denzel Washington's career, where it starts on a downward trajectory, and a downward trajectory that could lead to him winding up with his career ending in an ignominious fashion. And they want to start that campaign with this Gladiator 2 movie, and use this Gladiator 2 movie to continue pushing a similar campaign to tarnish his image the same way they did with Bill Cosby. Now, Mr. Superboy a long time ago said that they haven't been able to go after Denzel, but right now I believe they're looking to go after Denzel, and again, they want to use Gladiator 2 as a launching pad to go after Denzel Washington, go after his personal reputation, his professional reputation, and make sure that, again, he leaves Hollywood in the most humiliating way, because when it comes to black actors, they want to find ways to, again, just make sure that you wind up completely humiliated. And what they did was start this whole campaign by making Denzel Washington compromise his Christian values by, again, offering him this role, and having him go out here and participate in a spiritual compromise as related to his Christian beliefs, because according to the Bible, again, this type of thing that he was participating in this scene is considered to be a great sin. And again, you would think a Christian man would want to try to preserve his values. Now, I know actors want to play characters, but oftentimes you want to make sure that you don't play characters that compromise your beliefs if this is what you believe, because if you make that kind of compromise, you can wind up losing your soul. And again, Hollywood, that's just one of the things they want to do with black men, is strip them of their soul, strip them of their dignity. And this is what they're possibly setting Denzel Washington up as related to this scene. And again, sadly, Denzel Washington, because he couldn't see the subtle politics transpiring around him, like I talk about in my novel, The Temptation of John Haynes, where I have on the back, it says, death kills the flesh and compromise kills the soul. He couldn't really see that they were basically offering him something. They'll offer you something, again, passively, like a prominent role in a big movie where you can get white validation and approval. But aggressively, what they use to do this is to tear a black man down. And sadly, at 69, Denzel couldn't see the subtle politics transpiring around him. And sadly, what's happening to him, he can't see what's going on as related to him. No, what's happening with Denzel Washington is he's possibly being put on this road as related to these steps. And again, this is all part of what white supremacy looks to do to heterosexual black men. What they look to do is look to destroy a heterosexual black man. And Denzel, who for many years was 7 steps ahead of white supremacy as related to the roles he played and the scripts he took, basically couldn't see how this one could be the one that they used to try to use as a stumbling block against him, because he was just, again, caught up in being in a Gladiator movie, again, caught up in the whole idea of being on the level of Russell Crowe, when this quest to seek white validation and approval basically put him on a road where he's possibly being set up to be targeted to promote anti-black messaging and anti-black imagery, again, looking to set him up to, again, make him a face as related to their anti-black narratives. Again, these studios are insidious, and sadly, Denzel Washington possibly could not see what was going on as related to things, because he was just caught up in the clout and the fame of being in a Gladiator movie. Again, a film that the studios basically were doing as a cash grab. They didn't really need to make this film, but they did need to have him be a part of their agenda to degrade and emasculate the image of black men, something that Hollywood has been doing for the last 30 years, whether it be going out here and putting many of these A-list black performers in some sort of dress or wig and having them play feminine roles as looking at to be mockeries of women, or going out here and having black men playing emasculated weak males who are soft and milquetoast, who are basically emasculated by women, or having black men go out here and play roles like they're just completely weak. I mean, the whole anti-black man agenda was been going on for over 30 years, and while Denzel Washington was never touched by that agenda over the last 30 years, it's looking like Hollywood wants to try to put him and make him a part of that whole anti-black man agenda in the last days of his career, and make sure that as they put him in this agenda, make sure that he leaves in the most humiliating fashion. Because when it comes to the white supremacists in Hollywood, what they do is they want to make sure that no black man leaves on top, because if a black man can leave on top, they cannot go out here and shatter that black man's legacy. They cannot go out here and destroy that black man's name, and that black man can inspire other black boys and black men to be great. And what they want to do is make sure that nobody in society gets to aspire to be great. No, what they want to do is destroy the image of a black man, so that people, when they see the success of a black man, there's an asterisk next to it. They see that asterisk next to it because they see that that black man had to, again, sacrifice his intangibles of manhood in order to get that success. He had to sacrifice his dignity, his self-respect, or his self-worth in order to get those roles and that success in Hollywood. That's what they want to do with many of these black entertainers, is basically make it where these men had to make a compromise of their spirit and character. And sadly, poor Denzel has fallen, I believe, into this trap with this film. Now, they did say they cut this scene from the movie, but the reason why they possibly cut that scene from the movie was because they already know that the film already had negative backlash for being a sequel nobody wanted. And if they kept that sequence in the film, what would happen is many of those YouTubers would come out here and say that this Gladiator movie was so-called woke, and that would basically lead to this film winding up with no ability to be able to generate any revenue at the box office. And Hollywood doesn't want to put that type of risk on a $200 million film after seeing multiple films like Joker 2, Fale a Doo-Doo wind up flopping at the box office, and a Gladiator 2 film flopping at the box office would lead to the studios ironically winding up in an ignominious place where they would suffer a humiliating defeat as related to the box office, which is Hollywood has been suffering for the last couple of years. And they would be, in my eyes, reaping what they sowed, greater than what they sowed, later than what they sowed, for the way they have been pushing these, again, social justice narratives and anti-black narratives, because while they, again, talk about diversity and inclusion, they passive-aggressively participate in anti-black racism, where they, again, will passively put a black person in a token role, then go out here and aggressively push anti-black messaging in that role. And again, this is what they've done for multiple films, and again, shows how full of it Hollywood is. And the more I learn about Hollywood as I've been studying this entertainment industry for the last 25 years, I am thanking God I was never part of this entertainment industry, because there's no way for a black man to go out here and have success in this entertainment industry without having to make some sort of compromise of your values and character. And that's something that I, again, thank God I was never part of this entertainment industry, because when I look at what they're doing to Denzel Washington in his twilight years, looking to tarnish his reputation, looking to tarnish his career, and again, put him on that same trajectory that they put Bill Cosby on. I just look at this whole Hollywood, and again, I get disgusted. And seeing the truth about Hollywood, I want nothing to do with it. I mean, there was a time when I originally thought, oh, I could go out here and look to elevate the image of black people in Hollywood and learn and try to get a script sold. But I see that you can't go out here and look to present anything positive about black people in the entertainment industry, and that what the work of Bill Cosby was a fluke. I mean, Bill Cosby managed to, again, for a moment, open up the doors and show us a world where black people could be presented as balanced and humanized. But I see now that that was just a moment in time that I was blessed to be a part of, a golden age as related to the black image, that again was a miracle to happen, and that there's no way you can go out here and be a part of that, of Hollywood, because they will wind up compromising your soul and basically putting you on a road to hell based on your own good intentions. No, you can't go out here and look to elevate the black image in Hollywood, because Hollywood in itself is a white supremacist anti-black institution, and with it being an anti-black institution, a heterosexual black male writer can't go out here and write stories that elevate black men and black women and show us in that humanized perspective. No, we can't get those kind of stories based on what I'm seeing. No, the only way for us to go out here and see positive images of black men and black women that show us as balanced and humanized is we're going to have to go out here and make our own content. And that's what I realize now, that again, I can't go out here and do anything with Hollywood, because the only thing Hollywood wants to do is again find a way to destroy the image of black people, whether it be black men, black women, or black children. And all they want to do is elevate the images that degrade black people and make people fit into the boxes that are acceptable to white people. Like I talk about in my novel, Spellbound, they only want to see those stereotypes and those images that make their world smooth, where they see the black person at the bottom of the world, even though they're presented as an image of the top. I mean, if you look at what's happening here with Denzel Washington, yes, he's playing a Roman businessman, but the people behind the scenes want to go out here and push a message that, again, looks to push him down and put him down. And again, he can't really see that. He says they weren't ready for the kiss that he was participating on scene yet. No, what they were ready for was going out here and continuing to participate in the anti-black messaging that they have been participating in for years to degrade the black male image. That's what they were ready for, and that's why they made this kiss as part of their marketing plan, because what they wanted to do was go out here and try to again cast a negative light on the black man, and again make it look like the black man could be compromised. That's what was done here as related to this film. Again, a film that was considered by the studio to be one that's just a cash grab. But again, this wasn't about grabbing cash. Again, this is all about image and all about, again, tarnishing the image of a black man. This is what they do in their media. And this is why it's important for us to have new black media. It's important for us to have new black media, because new black media is a place where we can see positive images of ourselves, balanced images of ourselves, humanized images of ourselves, places where we can have rich, complex characters like I present on the SJS Direct imprint, with characters like John Haynes, and strong masculine images of black men like John Haynes. And what I find to be interesting about people out here is that when they see an image of a black man holding Thor's hammer, like I presented on John Haynes' Godbreaker, they get upset. But with Denzel Washington in his twilight years, they got no problem watching him again be out here presented in a way where Hollywood is looking to again humiliate him, and again, looking to start the road to breaking Denzel down. But the image of John Haynes Godbreaker gets them upset because it shows a black man taking power. But if they show a story narrative of them taking power away from a black man, again, Denzel Washington wants to leave Hollywood on his own terms, but what he doesn't understand is when you go and deal with white supremacy, you're making a deal with the devil, and when you make that deal with the devil, you are never going to be able to leave on your own terms. No, you're going to be stuck, compromised with the terms of white supremacy, and that series of terms that you make when you're young, when you get older, you soon find out that when you make that deal with white supremacy, like Eddie Griffin said, you're never going to leave clean. And again, the ultimate whole push of this narrative as related to Denzel Washington and this Gladiator film is all about starting him on the road to not being able to leave clean the way Bill Cosby was not able to leave clean. Again, leaving clean means that you can leave on your own terms. Leaving clean means you can go out here and end your career on top, similar to what Michael Jordan did in 1998 when he made that final shot in that Bulls game against the Utah Jazz. I mean, that's leaving clean and leaving on top, but you can't really do that in the system of white supremacy as related to the entertainment industry. No, they're never going to let you leave clean, and that's what's happening here with Denzel Washington. They want to start this trajectory of his career going on a decline so that they can create a narrative saying that Denzel Washington, the box office king who commanded $20 million a picture, is now the king of flops and is a box office failure. And what's wrong with Denzel's mojo? Because based on the films that I'm seeing, like Black Panther 3, again, setting this man up for failure because 3 is the tragic number as related to sequels, and the MCU is in a major state of decline. So I see where they're getting ready to set Denzel up. And I have to say, I gotta respect Mr. Superboy because he said a long time ago they were looking to go get Denzel, but he can't see how insidious these people are about getting him. They couldn't get him on Me Too allegations like they did Bill Cosby. So what they want to do is get him in a different fashion that plays into the subtle politics transpiring around him, playing into those subtle politics that they're trying to, again, play. And again, because Denzel is, again, not playing chess, he's basically playing Candyland with these white supremacists in Hollywood. And these white supremacists in Hollywood are playing a game where they're looking to checkmate him, and checkmate him at the point where he's the most vulnerable as an older man. Checkmate him at a point when he's in his old age, and look to go out here and look to get the final checkmate and finally get the ultimate win, because white supremacy is always about winning. And sadly, many black people, we think we can win by playing their game, but the whole thing is if you play by their rules, you're always going to lose. And sadly, Denzel played by their rules and is going to wind up, again, losing in the most ignominious fashion, because what Hollywood wants to do is say Gladiator 2 flopped at the box office and that Denzel is losing his mojo, again, losing his mojo, and then saying that, oh, he's in a state of decline, he's not the star he used to be. Again, white supremacy always looks to, again, play these type of odds, and sadly, Denzel doesn't see how the odds are just not in his favor as related to the state of his career. Now, if you want to learn more about how Hollywood treats black actors, you can pick up my screenplay book, All About Marilyn, where I go in depth about the struggles of a black actress in Hollywood and how Hollywood basically does not regard or respect black performers. And you can find that book and my other 2 books that I mentioned in this video, The Temptation of John Haynes, where I talk about how compromise kills the soul and can basically put you on a road to hell, and my other book, Spellbound, which deals with the black people fitting into black boxes that are acceptable to white people. You can find all 3 of those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos taking celebrities to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.